Live from Jesus Money Plaza in Jesus Money, Tennessee. It's Jesus Money, where God is good, cash is better, and the low balance on your checking account makes angels cry. I'm Hank Massey. I'm here to tell you what Jesus tells you to do with your money. Let's go to the phones. It's a free call. That way I can judge you for the flaws of capitalism biblically. Jackie in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Oh, what's on your mind?
Hey there, Hank Massey. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. You know what? Actually, hold on for a second. I'm going to push back on that a little bit. I think I'm probably about a speedboat light from what I deserve, but I'm figuring there's probably a lag in accounting up in heaven. Maybe somebody's on spring break or something. I figure it's going to get rectified pretty soon. How can I help you?
Well, I don't even know where to begin to tell you all this, but let's just say I've had a lot of financial problems personally for some time now. And Lord, I tell you, they just got worse. They just got worse as can be.
Okay. Well, what kind of debt are we talking about here? Or what?
Well, I'm dealing. Well, I'll tell you right now, I've never dealt with it before. First time in my life dealing with a bankruptcy.
You had to declare bankruptcy. Your business went under, or you were.
Well, I didn't. Now listen. What happened was I was an owner of a provider of a business that I had. I got out of that business. I sold it for a nice sum of money, but went into politics, and for whatever reasons, all that money got ate up, so I didn't have no money there. Then there was a situation where I had to work for somebody I could not stand, hated his guts. But tell you what, turned around, he cursed me. He died of cancer, which he deserved as far as I'm concerned. Forgive me for saying that, but you didn't know this man, a terrible man. So then after he passed away, he left me his business. He willed it unto me. Didn't want it, got stuck with it. Then a lawyer friend of mine named Pinky Siren, he took the business, put it in his name to help me out, to do some financial and, legal things that I don't necessarily understand, to get everything on the up and up, get this business running, which for a while it was running good. And then it just went under. He got sick. Next thing I know, I get the bankers calling me saying, no, it's your store, not Pinky's, who was a lawyer, Pinky Steiner. It's your store now, your responsibility. You got to file for bankruptcy. I got all the paperwork. Never been in this situation before in my life. Don't know what to do.
Normally I would have cut you off, but I fell asleep about halfway through that. So what you're saying is, let me ask you a question, Jackie.
Yeah.
Do you have a pizza box in your hand right now?
What?
Are you delivering a pizza? Are you walking up to ring the doorbell on a house and give them a pizza?
No, I ain't got no pizza. No.
Well, then that's stupid. You're in a lot of debt. You've made some dumb butt decisions, and you need to start cleaning up your mess. And you're sitting around. Have you prayed about it?
Well, I prayed about everything, not just,
What'd Jesus say to you?
Well, he didn't say any one thing in particular. I just kind of, you look for signs, that sort of thing. I didn't. Now, I don't go to church regularly, which I probably should.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you don't go to church.
I go on the weekends now. Hear me out now. I go not on the weekends, on the holidays. Some weekends, I take my wife down there, but I go on the holidays and all that. But that don't keep me from praying. Lord just wants to hear from you. He don't matter where you're at. When he hears from you, is the way I always learned it.
So you think that you can just run up a bunch of debt, go bankrupt, have people give you businesses, they get sick, and was somebody dressing up like Tom Cruise? Am I projecting here, or was that part of your business? Somebody was dressing up like Tom.
That's Tom Cruise, Kenny. that's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Did you know about Tom Cruise?
No, I didn't, but that just seems like this kind of dumb but stupid business. Jackie, how much money do you have saved up right now?
Well, I don't like to, talk about all the money I got. Not a lot. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. How much?
Not as much as
How much do you owe on your truck?
on my truck.
Yeah.
The truck's paid for. It's old. That truck's from 1980 something.
Okay. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna sell that truck, and then you're gonna get you a job delivering pizzas. Then you're gonna get in church, and you're gonna tithe 10% of whatever you got left.
No, listen. I'm working right now.
How much money do you have buried in the backyard?
In my backyard?
Yeah.
What?
What's that?
No. I'm working at another store that has my name on it, but it's not really my store. My store's gone under, and let me tell you, I had nothing to do with this. You understand? It wasn't me that made these decisions. Now, see, Tom Cruise, Kenny was working in here. Kenny Tom Cruise, how you want to say it, he was working there for Penny Styron, and we were doing what was it Tom Cruise did? I can't remember. Cocktail bologna, and that shit where you throw the bologna, hot bologna all around, and you just toss it, turn it, flip it, and people, for miles around come to see that. People like to see he looked just like Tom Cruise, get a picture with him. Now, he didn't do it himself. He was just there. They had real cooks do it. Some people, when they asked him to do it, he'd say, I can't do it, but I'll take a picture with you with the dance. He did that. That was fine. Well, they got it in their mind, one Tom Cruise thing goes good, all of it's going to go good, right? So this cocktail bologna, it was the flavor of the month, so to speak, for a while, and then after a while, people just, after you see so many pieces of bologna being flipped and flopped in the air, you don't need to see it anymore. You know what I'm saying? So what they decided to do, which had nothing to do with me, I had nothing to do with these decisions, they went and made another Tom Cruise sort of thing. In some movie called Valkyrie, and all this World War II, they dressed Tom Cruise up, Tom Cruise Kenny, not real Tom Cruise. And I hadn't seen this movie, but dressed him up, I guess he's a German officer, a Nazi or something. And that's something you don't want to do. If I'd have known that they were doing that, I would have told them probably not a wise decision. Here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, don't care for Nazis here. There's one good thing I can say about this city. We don't like Nazis and we run them out. So what? And he said, no, well, I didn't talk to him, but he was like, they said, no, if it's Tom Cruise, it's going to work. It's going, it's topical. It's something that's, in the news. But sure enough, it just did not do well. People did not go to this store. They didn't get bologna. They didn't get nothing. They didn't get any of that. It was a Valkyrie salad is what they had on the menu. And it turns out people don't like Nazis or salad here in Murfreesboro. So that business went under. Now, I had nothing to do with any of these decisions. Not a one. This was all Peggy Siren, who, as far as I know, is out of the hospital now. He was sick. I think he's up and running now. He was able to go to the bank and make sure that they got these damn papers in my mailbox. I say that for sure. And I don't know where Tom Cruise Kenny is.
Well, Jackie, it sounds like you've made a big mess out of your life. And you're sitting there, and you're 110 damn years old, and somebody's coming up to you saying, well, here's you run this business in the ground. How about you help me out? How about you you took advantage of my kindness and our bologna restaurant, and now people are coming to me, and it was your mess, and somebody needs to slap the stupid out of your brain.
Hey. Wait a minute now. I thought
Third Castellonians.
But I didn't make these decisions. That's another thing. When I tried to tell them, I called the bank and I said, this, and said, mine, I signed the ownership over to pay the salary. They said, no. He claimed that he was nothing but a consultant to you and what used to be Jockey's Bucket. I can't stand the name. I don't even like saying it on here on the radio. But they told me they said he signed, he was just a consultant and nothing else, and that I owe him money, that I need to pay him for any of this stuff. So I'm left with this business that's gone under, and it's affected. And let me tell you right now, I wasn't in a good shape to begin with before any of this happened. But now, hell, I don't know what to do. And I never did tell you how old I was.
Well, I could kind of guess just from the nonsense you're spouting and the awful voice that hurts my ears, and also just sort of a lack of. It's like you've lost touch. It's like your generation just expects everybody else to pick up the pieces for you. I'll do whatever I want to. I'm 100 years old. Well, you know what? Now you're running around causing businesses to go under, and they need people to pay up and not leave them hanging out to dry.
I didn't have anything to do with this.
Edgar writes in the third book of Thessalonians, you've got to make sure that you're tithing, and you've got to make sure you're coming down to the Jesus Money Church. Have you been down to the Jesus Money Church lately?
Well, I like I said earlier, I take my wife had a stroke. I take her to church every other weekend, something like that. So
well, your wife's stroke's not going to pay the bills that you owe, and you can hide behind that story for as long as you want to. But eventually, you can pray and say, Jesus, I want this and I want that. But until you get 3 or 4 different jobs, Jesus isn't going to do nothing for you. And also, Jesus can tell I don't know if you know this about Jesus, but he's a pretty smart dude. You ever heard of Jesus Christ, our Savior?
Well, of course I have.
Would you say that he's a smart dude?
Well, he's the smartest man ever lived, yes.
Is that true, though, just biblically speaking? I was going somewhere with this, but I'd like to stop a second. How smart is Jesus?
Well, how smart he was.
Is he the smartest man who ever lived? Would we say that? Like, if you give Jesus and Albert Einstein an IQ test and put them in a room together, would Jesus beat Einstein? Is that part of what we're supposed to believe? I was going to make a larger point, but while we're here, I'd like to talk about Jesus' IQ. Do we just assume as Christians? You're a Christian, right, Mr. Brawls?
Well, of course I am.
I don't know if you told me your last name, but one of these girls that runs a booth in there just slipped me a piece of paper, said Mr. Brawls. Listen, Jackie, if you think you can get out there and run Murfreesboro City into the ground, she told me that you're from Murfreesboro. That was information I had at the very beginning. So pray. How many jobs do you have now?
I'm working one place right
Have you ever
now,
been one of those?
I have to work cash register, I had to cook barbecue, I had to stock some sales every so often.
Yeah,
so
well,
it's not just one thing. I'm doing a lot of things at one job.
Until you stand up and take responsibility and say, hey, I got in this mess myself because I'm stupid.
I didn't, though.
And I'm a dumb butt. And I bet nobody ever taught you
ain't nothing dumb about nothing.
how to. Did anybody ever sit you down?
I didn't have anything to do with it. Just take your side and talk close kitty.
Teach you how to.
Call them up, call them dumb butt all day. Don't call me, man. Speaking of which, I'm legally have to do this. Excuse me 1 minute, Mr. Massey. I have to do this legally. It says I do, even though it's going under bankruptcy. It is my sponsor, and I have to. They give me $25, which I had to turn around and give it right back to the bank. But if you want a Valkyrie salad, go on down to Pakistani's market, Tom Cruise Kid, even though they're not doing it anymore. Nobody's doing it, but I still have to say it. So Valkyrie salad, I did it legally, binding, done with. Don't have to do it anymore. That's it. I'm through.
Well, that reminds me, if you can just hang on the line for a second, Jackie, I also have to do Jesus Money. Today is brought to you by the Jim Beavers Foundation. The Jim Beavers of Comcast Cable Foundation. They are out there doing the Lord's work and reaching parts of the community you didn't even know was hurting, and that's the Jim Beavers of Comcast Cable Foundation, where they want you to know Hooperman.
What is it?
Hooperman?
Jim Beaver, God rest his soul, if he said it, then so be it. Yeah.
So, Jackie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enroll you in Jesus Money University so you can get started on these itty-bitty steps, we call them.
What? Look, I thought you might have some legal advice.
Well, I've got some legal advice.
Listen, I had a lawyer. He's retired now, finally. He was living in the home. He was the oldest lawyer, as far as I know.
Well, that's just a bad lawyer. That's a bad decision that you made.
He's an old lawyer.
Why would you get an old lawyer? Why would you choose that to be your lawyer? That's a bad move. That's a bad move, Jackie. I'm not here to make you re-examine your entire life, but if you call me up and start belly aching about a bunch of damn mistakes you made, then I'm going to call you out on them. You hired...
I didn't make these mistakes. I would have never told Tom Cruise Kenny to dress up like a Nazi. Never would have done it. Never would have told him to serve a salad in that place. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have signed the store over to Pinky Siren. I trusted him at the time.
Yeah, that may have been.
I don't know what happened to him. He got sick and did something to his head. He ain't himself, I guess. I don't know.
It's everybody else's fault, ain't it? I've heard. Here's whose fault I've heard it is, Jackie. What? Since you've been on the phone, I've heard that it's Pinky Styron's fault. It's Tom Cruise Kenny's fault. It's hell, bologna sandwich's fault, I guess. Is it a bologna sandwich's fault?
No, that's a bologna.
Are you blaming this on a? Are you blaming this on a bologna sandwich, Jackie?
I ain't blaming it on nothing.
Are you mad at a bologna sandwich?
Pinky Siren mainly. Tom Cruise Kenny worked for him, but if they made these decisions together, then something.
Would you rather sit there and yell at a bologna sandwich and say, "It's your fault, dude. It's your fault"? Or would you rather get a job as an Uber driver?
What? What is it?
Uber?
Uber? What?
Uberman. Listen, Jackie, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign you up for Jesus Money University, get you in there, get you working them little bitty steps.
Sign me up for what is it?
It's a class where you're going to come down here to the Jesus Money Church, and we're going to teach you all about how your bank account totals depends on how much Jesus likes you, and that you need to have 5 to 7 jobs. The poorer you get, the more jobs you have. Now, that's common sense. That's math. And then this going to run you about $200 a month, but we consider that a tithe. So we're going to get you down here.
I don't think church filed bankruptcy.
Well, that comes with a T-shirt, Jackie.
I'm barely making any money at all. All my money went to this is what I get in return. I was sitting on a pretty little sum. I'll be the first one to admit it. I turn around and give it to my constituents to help this city, to make business thrive, to get businesses here. And hell, another one just bankrupted evidently, so that was throwing money out the window. I'll say that right now. But I didn't have anything to do with this business going on. No, sir. No, sir.
Well, in the book of 3rd Thessalonians, Edgar writes to the Thessalonians, who were also had declared bankruptcy, and Edgar says, the first thing you need to do is you need to stop playing the blame game. Now, that's in the Bible, Jackie, and we're going to get you down here into the Jesus Money University, and we're going to...
No, I thought you could just say something on the phone. I thought you helped people when they called you on the phone.
Oh, yeah, let me just say...
No university. I ain't going to do any of that.
How about this?
Like giving you $200.
Bippity boppity boo! Now you're out of bankruptcy. What do you expect me to say? You want me to just write you a check? I think about half the people. Jackie, this doesn't concern you, but I just like to get something off my chest. I think about half the people that call up to Jesus Money to talk to Hank Massey expect me to write them a damn check, because I'm on here talking about. Well,
I didn't ask for no damn. I ain't asking for charity. what I'm asking for is advice, and I'm not. It goes back to school ain't no kind of advice that I need to use right now. I need to know what
It's
I
a
need to do in
2-week.
terms of bankrupt. What?
It's a 2-week course. It's 2 weeks. You come down here. It's
I
live
ain't
in. There's a
got
dorm.
I ain't giving you $200 for 2 damn weeks.
That
No
covers breakfast and
No.
lunch. You're gonna live in here. It's in one of the condemned dorms at the Middle Tennessee State University. That's a
No.
real school.
No.
And you live in there, and you for 2 weeks.
I gotta go home. Pay $10 why I ain't gonna stay. No.
You're under armed guard, so it's safe. No one can get to you, and you can't get out. And that's
What?
Jesus Money University.
No.
How much money you got buried in that backyard?
What do you think my backyard? What do you know about it?
One of these girls.
Backyard, as far as you're concerned. You don't
Well,
need
one
to
of these
concern
girls.
yourself with anything that's on my property.
They said they Googled you, and it come up that you had a lot of money buried in the backyard.
They what, miss?
They Googled you.
What did they do?
Googleman.
Googleman.
Jackie, in the book of Carcinoleans, they talk a lot about people not wanting to give me money, and they say it's dumb and it's ignorant, and it's one of the worst things you can do, and it just rubs me the wrong way. So what I'm going to do is get you down here and throw you in the room, lock the door till you give me $200.
No, I ain't.
And legally, we can keep you for up to 2 weeks. But
No.
if we get you to sign a paper before we put you in there, and we got ways to do that, we can keep you up to 3
Signing
years.
paper is what got me into this to begin with.
Well,
I
I've
ain't
got
never
some.
signing no paper anymore. I don't care who it is. No, the hell with this, and the hell with you. I'm getting off of this damn phone. The hell with this. This is a waste of damn time. Somebody said you'd be able to help me, and I heard you before help people. You could cut up some credit cards and this or that, which I ain't got none of
Oh,
those
yeah,
to
cut up
up,
your
right?
credit cards. That's where I should have
Well,
started.
I ain't got none to cut up. That's not my problem.
What do you have you could cut up?
It's not my business. I didn't dress nobody up like a Nazi. I didn't make no one a salad. I didn't have anything to do with any of this. And I won't know how the hell I get out of it. If you're going to help me with that, the hell with you and the hell with this. I'm hanging up.
First of all, how does a 110-year-old man know how to use a cell phone? Maybe I wonder if that was a real phone like it used to have, like in the old days. When was the last time you heard anybody? That was like we were just talking to a museum, an old man on a phone, pushing the blame around. Well, I've got a couple of Bible verses I'd like to share with you before we close up the Jesus Money books on today. In 3rd Galatians, Ryan says, fear not, for Jesus listens to every call you make. And if you really just sort of run around in circles and you kind of beat something to death, like your segment goes too long or something, Jesus is there to let you know that you could have cut it off about 5 minutes ago. And also, Bab Tabit, verse 3, second chorus says, give Jesus some money and he'll give you a lot more back. I'm Hank Massey, and this has been Jesus Money, the show where I tell you what Jesus tells you to do with your money.
Hey, look at there. You see him? Well, open your damn eyes in. It's the old-timey country down-home red state update podcast and them. Coming to you from a bunker underneath Jackie's Market in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And here they are, both of them.
Hey, everybody, it's Jackie Broles here.
Jackie,
What?
this is Dunlap.
I know who you are, ain't you? You're sitting right there. I can look at you. I know who you are. And people that listen to this, they know who it is. They're-
Oh, yeah, they do.
That's how you're supposed to start things, I guess. You just say, here's my name. And
You hear that beer open?
I hear it. I know, yeah. I don't know what's not funny
That's
to
the
me.
kind of podcast this is, folks. Listen, maybe you ain't listened to this podcast since 5 years ago. Did you know, Jackie, that 5 years ago was when we first did the Red State Update podcast?
They told me a little while ago, yeah.
Do you know what the official name of the Red State Update podcast is?
Huh?
Do you know what the official name of the Red State Update podcast
No.
is?
You said
The
I did
old-timey, down-home.
Yeah.
Where you should change. Let's change that name. We're going to check on changing that name. If it looks different, we probably just change that name. 5 years of that stupid name, we can probably just change it to Red State Update.
Hey, thank you, Shaw. Well, that's cute. That's funny. And then it's just something that nobody, you try to look for it. It don't make it.
I think it just makes it harder for
yeah,
people to.
just makes them difficult to listen to say, to
Yeah.
remember. Anything to make something just a little more difficult to deal with, it's just leave it to us, I guess.
Yeah, anything what can we do to get in the way of people finding and enjoying our work? How can we make this less accessible, less successful? How can we, 5 years, anniversaries are times to look back and see how you fucked up. And what
Hey,
you did.
watch your mouth. I don't want to hear it.
Listen, Jackie, what else can we do? We're going to change the name. It should be, folks, should it be the Red State Update podcast, or should it be the Jackie and Dunlap show?
You just say Time for Jackie Bros, I think's a good name.
But it's not.
Time for Jackie Bros.
It ain't.
That's how it start. Hey, everybody, it's time for Jackie Bros.
Ugh.
That's me. And then,
Well, all right, you sold me. I was
Well,
scoffing at first, but then you won me over with that. Well, what do I get?
huh? Well, everybody that's got the Ed McMahon or whatever it is, a sidekick, somebody,
Don't you think it would have been better and just created an atmosphere of trust and love
Huh?
if Johnny Carson had said, hey, stop the presses. From now on, recall them banners, them vinyl banners we sent out all over the nation that said The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Did it say starring Johnny Carson? It was very specific, right? Was it featuring Johnny Carson?
Hell,
or
it
starring?
ain't been on TV in how many damn years?
Yeah,
I
nobody
can't remember
cares.
that. I can't remember the name of the own damn podcast there
He
we're
said,
doing, let alone.
get them back in here and get some paint and write with Ed McMahon at the bottom.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have created a better atmosphere for
No,
that show?
not necessarily. That's just waste of time and effort on somebody who ever had to paint Ed McMahon's name out. That nobody wants to do that, and everybody knows that's who he is. That's even better than having your name on something. Everybody show, that's what's his drunk fat one beside him. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Don't have to say his name. That's what real famous is.
When you don't even have to say somebody's name.
And you know who it is, or you know what his function is, or what. Oh, I know what that is.
That's a drunk fat one.
Yeah.
Or that's Cher.
Who?
Also, you know who Cher is.
I didn't hear what you said. Cher, Sonny Cher, yeah.
Sonny Cher.
I remember Sonny Cher that years ago.
Also, Jackie, can I tell you this while we're on the subject of Johnny Carson trying to get them millennials? I fell asleep on my phone, and then my dick probably come out and turned it on.
Shut your mouth.
And then a little pee probably spilled on it.
All right, I don't want to hear any of this. What's this
what
got to
it's
do
like
with Johnny
in the
Carson?
morning. There's a podcast. Somehow my podcast app come up, and there was a whole podcast just on Johnny Carson. Somebody talks to people just about Johnny Carson. There's a whole podcast just called like the Johnny Carson Podcast. It's just a little dude, and he's like, I love Johnny Carson. I want to talk to everybody who ever had anything to do with him.
Well, he got a lot to talk about that zone for how many damn years?
So I'm going to say
50
it's
years.
time to get out of the podcast business.
Yeah. Well, that's what we talk about, Eddie. That's what we said. You got to make an announcement on here. And we said it before, but we're saying it again. I think it's for real this time, though. I think this time it's like ain't no joke or nothing to it. I think we're close to 300, right? What is it?
Well, we've got about 25.
25 more to go.
That's half a damn year.
But now, how long's that go into? March? Go from now to March or something like that? We do 2 a week or something.
It's 52 weeks. What episode is this? Number 273? So that means there's what? 20
I don't got my calculator here. I don't know. I just have. We can double up.
27 episodes. Plus, did we ever? Whatever happened to the 250th episode?
Huh?
Also, so there's like 27, 28. A year is 52 fucking weeks.
All right.
I learned that in school.
Hush it.
They said, how long is it? A year is 52 fucking weeks.
All right, enough. What? Okay, you want to go 280? What? Cut it. Seems like if you're that close to 300, you should just stop at 300.
What
two
if we
zeros.
did one a night?
Well, how long would that be then? That's 7 days a week. That's how many podcasts a week then?
Yeah.
How many of them? 7.
7.
Oh, you said every night. Hell, I ain't gonna talk.
We do 7, and then we'd be done in a month of 7 day a night.
When you put it to me that way, you ought to just do 2 or 3 a week, because President Dumbass, excuse my language, is going to give you something to talk about, and everyone forget about it the day right after, and you move on to something else.
How about we do 1 a month for 3 years?
What?
How about we do 1 a year until we die?
I won't listen. Go to 300, we stop. Now, I ain't saying forever. Stop for a little while, figure out what the hell we're doing, maybe, just to see if that helps. I don't know.
Folks, listen, give us some suggestions. What would you like to see on this podcast if we were going up to 300? Or what could we do after 300?
I won't stop this one and come up with a whole new thing.
No.
It's the Jackie time. It's me, and then we'll try that.
Listen, also, somebody I think one time told us our files were too big. Any technical advice you've got? We've only been doing this for 5 years, and so, I mean, there's no way you're going to work the kinks out of something in 5 years.
There's some nice people I'll give them a plug on here. It's called Tin Can Media. They offered for us to come on there, and they said they'd take care of all the buttons and stuff, and then I said, well, hell, I just don't even feel doing this anymore.
Oh, yeah. Well, also the guy from
hey.
The world's biggest podcast.
What is it called?
It's called The World's Biggest Podcast.
Yeah.
Jameson Michelson hosts it.
Well, who is that?
Jameson Michelson.
What does he do?
He just talks to interesting people who grow, interesting herbs or animals.
Wow.
Also, some of his favorite celebrities and Johnny Carson.
Why you won't talk about Johnny Carson so much?
Half podcasts are about Johnny Carson right now, Jackie. I'm saying it's time to go.
Why did young people don't want to talk about some old man on TV who dead now? Nobody likes that. If you like Johnny Carson, I ain't saying you shouldn't like him. Some of that's kind of cute and funny.
So we're not going to do that Rockford?
Huh? Rockford? Well, wait a second. Now, that's different. He wasn't trying to be all cute. He just, and funny, he just was. Johnny Carson, God rest his soul, he made me laugh every now and then, like when he had a little mustache trying to sell you something. But he just, he to me, he seemed like he tried too hard. Rockford never tried to do anything hard. Rockford was always just Rockford and always good.
Maybe we need to do more sketches.
Huh?
Maybe we need to do more sketches.
Sketches.
Jackie, for our 5th anniversary, I asked some people to get on the Facebook and the damn Twitter and ask us some questions, and a few people did.
Well, I answer them if that's what it is. It's for we go 5 years to answer questions, right? That's it.
We can run through them real quick here. Okay, we're gonna start off with
Don't ask me about anything President Dumbass said today, because I ain't looked at the computer or read the newspaper or nothing. So God knows what he did. It wouldn't matter, because I wouldn't know. It was the day before, 3 hours later. I can't keep up with it. Go on, what the hell?
Let's start on Twitter. We got Mary Stanley.
Hey, man.
Now that you can post double the words on Twitter, she was able to say that she was late and ask if she could still ask a question. Now, a couple of weeks ago, she just had to go straight to the question. Or it had been 2 tweets. Or it would have been like, I'm late. Can I still ask a question? 1 of 2.
Well, to answer your question, yes, you may.
Can that question and this question not count as my question? See, she was a step ahead of you, fucking idiot.
What did she say?
What's your favorite? She's got 2 questions. What's your favorite Southern Thanksgiving food? We'll start with that one.
Southern Thanksgiving food.
Like, not like some fucking Yankee.
Watch your mouth.
Come in from damn Nantucket with a fucking
all right. You don't have to say
fist
that.
up a turkey,
all over
shoving
again, over and over
stuffing
and over
up
again.
in there. Listen, I don't. My stuffing. If I want to eat bread
On the side.
on the side, it doesn't have to touch the turkey's spine.
You don't have to go up in it. Yeah.
Why the hell would you want to? Why does it got to go all the way up in there? Why does it have to go all the way up in there? Write that down. That question is useful for a lot of different things. But why do you have to?
They're supposed to be asking us questions. We're not supposed to ask questions. Does it work both ways?
Answered her question with a question. That my answer is not stuffing, because that's
Okay. Well, I'll answer if can I answer it? If you say not to answer your question, gravy.
all right. And her second question is,
Wait, that's 3 questions. Hang on.
well, I'm a few minutes late. Can I still ask a question?
1 question.
Can that question and this question not count as my question?
That's I didn't even fool with that one then.
What's
okay.
your favorite Southern Thanksgiving
I
food?
said gravy.
Or where can I adopt a fox-faced cat in Kentucky?
I don't think I had them up there. They didn't. They were bred exclusively here in Murfreesboro, as far as I can remember. He had issues trying to get that across state lines.
Didn't some of them get loose?
Well, yeah, there was issues with that, but something about genetic codes, and I don't know
Right.
all of the scientific reasons, but you could not, if you tried to get one of those cross state lines, you was in big trouble.
That's true.
They had to put them down, is what they did, as soon as you went across, because, you know.
Now, that's not us. That was the government.
No, I didn't have nothing to do with it. I was saying the government, you shouldn't have tried to take them because it's not a risk. It's not worth the risk, in my opinion.
But some of them just ran off.
Well, yeah, they
and
got loose.
so I would check the shelters because they did tend to head north. There was just something in them. They was just always
Well,
going.
bless their hearts, I hope I got there where they was going. I did, you know, it's awful that you know, laws are laws. I don't like
Render
them.
unto Caesar what is Caesar.
That's what old, yeah, Jesus himself said, yeah. Of
Jesus said that.
course, if he were alive today, he'd say, tell that ignorant SO, you know. Jesus wouldn't say that. He'd find an elegant Bible way to say it.
I think he'd say, normally I'd say, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, but in this case, ugh.
Well, yeah, he could say that, yeah.
Like, Caesar's one thing, but this is ridiculous. That's how Jesus would be. He'd pop up, he'd go like, this is ridiculous.
Well, you make it sound like Jesus on Laugh In. That's not good. That's
I wish it
sinful.
was Laugh In. Laugh In. I wish Ruth Buzzy was slapping the shit out of me
Hey.
with her purse 24/7 instead of what we're living through right now. Although a lot of Laugh In, thinking about it now, is sexual harassment. That's about 70% of what happened on there.
That's just women in the underwear dancing around, words on them.
I mean, like, somebody'd say something, and then like did a wall hit them like on Hee Haw also? Was there a laughing wall that would hit somebody? Second, Fox-Faced Cat. Then Carl Hanna on Twitter.
Hey, Carl.
Has Dunlap been able to invent a lubricant safe for both dildos
All
and
right.
dicks? Listen,
All
I'm
right.
no scientist. But I'm no scientist, but I do like to experiment. That's
I
what
don't-
it says.
No.
That's what it says on all my dating apps. I'm no scientist, but I do like to experiment. It has not helped me. And what I did was, and for my picture to go with that funny ass quote that should be getting girls to message me and swipe right like 100% of the time,
Why?
I dressed up like Jack Elam in Cannonball Run, which also probably some sort of assault.
That's a doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor clothes.
I think all of our references are problematic. If you're of a certain age, everything you remember is loaded.
You talk about Johnny Carson. I remember back he had Dolly Parton on the show and said on the TV, I sure would like to see your things. He said it. That's how they talked on TV.
I think Johnny Carson, and I don't know if it was Johnny. I think that's where I learned the word taint.
What?
From a Dolly Parton appearance. Am I misremembering that? Somebody, clip of the week, find Dolly Parton saying taint.
All right, that's...
So, Carl, I have to say that, I'm shopping around. I'm going to farmers markets. I'm trying to find a better lube. And that's all you can do, man. That's all you can do. John King, not that one, says, do I have to wait until 7:15 p.m. to ask a question or before 7:15 p.m.?
It's until then, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Happy anniversary, he says.
Oh, thank you. Thank you kindly there.
Charles Manson has died aged 83, according to authorities. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Who died today?
Somebody told me he died last week, and I went, oh, well. And then today, did he die again? But I guess he was sick or something. Hell, I don't keep up with it.
I saw Charlie Rose's picture turn up, and I was like, well, he either died or is in a lot of trouble.
Well, one of the two. If you see anybody on TV come on, it's one of the two, period.
Let's move over to Facebook. Thanks, Twitter folks. Maybe we should have given people a little more advance. No, we got some good questions here on Facebook.
All right.
It's our 5th anniversary, Jackie. Remember pre-Thanksgiving 5 years ago, America out behind the barn bleeding out was name of our first episode.
Things were simpler then. You just hated Obama. That's all you needed. Nowadays, I don't. I still kind of hate Hillary Clinton, but don't hate her nearly as much as I used to because I got somebody I hate more. It's confusion. Who says they're Republican, but they ain't a damn Republican. And everybody that is a Republican are full of bull, a bunch of damn, I don't want to say it. I ain't going to say it on here. Anything comes out of my mouth ain't going to sound right. So I'm going to say,
Do you even hate Obama anymore?
I'll let me put it this way. I wish I could go back to hating Obama. The things the way they were, just hating Obama like I did, that was better than this. I'm going to say that. So take that how you want. Whatever you want, do with that, do with it.
Hot take. Al Moore says, hey, Dunlap, you once said Trudy, Patricia Shellback, and the cast of Will and Grace were 2 of your top 10 masturbation inspirations.
Right.
What are the other 8?
Okay.
Asking for a friend. Listen, Al, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I don't know that I was made for these times. Things are changing, and, we did our first Red State update back in, I think we taped it for the YouTube back in 2005. That was a long-ass time ago.
Yep.
And it's a little rough out there right now for me. Somebody who, one of my defining characteristics is just inappropriately hitting on women. To find my place in this new world. I'm excited. Now, listen, I like women. I want them to take everybody that's been inappropriate to them down. I'm enjoying most of this. Maybe enjoying's not the right word because there is actual pain associated with these. I don't mean crusade in a bad way. How do you say crusade in a good way?
No, ain't no.
Maybe
good,
it's tone.
No good
this crusade.
No.
What if you say crusade?
No.
Crusade. Yeah, there's no good crusade. That sounds like you're either going after Muslims or, oh, man. I'm just going to say, I don't know, Al, if I could just go on here and make jokes about women that I masturbate to. It feels like I'm robbing them of something.
Good.
It's like an inappropriate joke. Am I going to get, like, Cast a Will of Grace, I'll say, that was pretty good. I mean, that was a pretty good one. I'm not. I mean, I could. Okay, I'll give you Mother from Little House on the Prairie, but that's the only one. I'm not gonna go down here and do a million jokes about women, just making them all, just like, oh, I'd masturbate to them. I don't know, Al. I think we're losing. And when I say losing, I don't even know if I regret it. Maybe we're losing some comedy. Maybe we're losing some heroes. Maybe we're losing a lot of old white dudes. Maybe we're losing the second most liked character on Red State Update. Maybe that's what's happening. It's been, how long we been doing this?
You said 5 years on talking in the thing.
Things change, Al. I don't know why I'm talking to you like you're wanting me to like jerk off on people.
All right,
Al,
shut your mouth.
Like, you ever seen that clip of fucking, I think he did it in Great Balls of Fire, like
Enough.
Steve Allen, like Jerry Lee Lewis kicks his fucking
All right.
piano stool back and Steve Allen throws it back on stage, or like Steve Allen making fun of Elvis, and like as a kid you're like, I like funny Steve Allen. I don't know, you know, as a kid how you like Steve Allen,
Right.
and then you also like, but why is Steve Allen making fun of the birth of rock and roll, which all the baby boomers have told me is the most important thing to ever happen? And you're conflicted.
Well,
Maybe comedy is conservative in a bad way. Maybe it holds people back. Maybe it doesn't let us progress as we should. Maybe Steve Allen got bumped out of the way by Elvis's sexually liberated hips,
all right.
which really just sort of, you know, paved the way for men to hit on women in more aggressive.
I tell you what, it sure is pitiful. It is sad for you. I know how hard it is, and I want to say my heart goes out to Dunlap that he can't sit on here and talk about how he wants to take his thing out too. But you know, poor him. Just think, you know, things are rough on people these days. That's right. People getting deported. You know, people getting shot. And then Dunlap here can't talk about taking his thing out. I tell you what,
All
it's
I'm
awful.
saying
It's rough on that.
is
people out
maybe
there.
it's time for us to put it to a vote. Does Dunlap stay or does Dunlap fucking go? Maybe
Hey.
we should get a 1-900 number and do a fucking poll.
All right.
And
Shut
say,
your mouth.
and I'll take it. If it comes out against me, I'll get Jason totted. I'll take
I'll-
that
Shut-
Joker crowbar to the head if it helps the world. Joker rhymes with woker, by the way. Also, how about this? If we set up a 900 number where people could call in and vote to kill me, we would make more money at that than anything else we ever did. So somebody, when you tell us how to make our podcast technically better, also tell us how to set up a 900 number.
Well, all I got to say about, you know, getting rid of Dunlap is, it's jacket time. That's me. Ready when you are, Al.
Who's Al?
Didn't he ask you something, a question?
Oh, Al Moore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Al.
It won't be talking about playing with the things, but it will be talking about good stuff. I hope you listen in.
Well, there's always characters evolve, but maybe not really gross ones. And, you know, the Red Hood happened.
What is it?
But Red Hood and the Outlaws was terrible. Really sexualized Starfire, Jackie. People
What?
didn't like it. I mean, she was always kind of sexualized, but before she just got really porny.
What is it? I don't know what you're talking about.
She's the alien.
Alien? What?
Gerg Trimner says, what's your all-time favorite pinball machines? Good question.
Oh, yeah.
Any chance of Jackie's Market going to franchise? What brand beer you been cracking on here of late? Time for part 2 of Need a Little Churching Up. Holy shit. That's a good idea.
What is it?
Churching Up part 2.
There needs to be churching up part 8, 10. Everybody needs a little churching up. They'd go on and on as far as I'm concerned.
Remember when Was Not Was would put out Come the Freaks on a different version, updated on every album?
No.
Yeah. So, what's your all-time favorite pinball machine?
Well, that time we went out to Las Vegas to see these idiots run for office, for president.
Yep.
And they had a whole museum.
Yeah.
Just full of them.
Yeah.
They just all, and I'm trying to remember which one was my favorite one. They had an old Godzilla monster one. I liked it.
Is there a Mel Tillis pinball machine?
If it might have been, if there was, that's a collector's item now. I tell you
It
that.
should have
Hold
been.
on
That
to
was
that.
sad.
Well, yeah, of course it's sad. God rest his soul. Mel Tillis has left us, and he left us, thank goodness, behind with a lot of funny memories and a lot of good singing, a lot of good songs. And we'll miss you. If they don't have a pinball of you, I wish there was something. Once we figure out how to make a parking strike, we'll work on trying to get a Mel Tillis pinball machine made.
A good pinball machine. Was there a Smokey and the Bandit pinball machine? It had to be,
Had
right?
to be one of those. Now, I'm trying to remember because it's been so long since I saw it's a Monster Godzilla one. Who's the thing that lives in the moon? What's his name? Lives in the moon with a little boy. What? Oh, E.T. lives in.
Oh, okay.
They had one of the E.T.'s thing. It's
Thought
cute.
you meant Black
you know.
Bolt.
Who? What
I'm
is
not
it?
even going to hold back on these fucking references. It's the 5th anniversary.
What do you? I don't understand any of them. But so for
Black
you know,
Bolt's on TV now, but
I
nobody's
don't know
watching
what it is. What is it?
He's one of the Marvel's Inhumans.
Marvel. Oh, you talking about funny book? I don't want to talk about funny books anymore. After you took me to that damn
Folks,
movie the
we
other night.
saw Justice League they don't say of America because it's worldwide on this, but we saw Justice League. It's worldwide and like the world doesn't want it.
Nope.
That's perfect movie for the Trump era.
Nope.
How about we're Justice League of the world? Yeah.
When I go see a movie and you say it's got back, of course I've been through this. I don't know how many times. I don't know why I let you take me back to them. You say, hey, there's a movie with Batman, Superman, where's a Flash,
Yep.
and Wonder Woman. You want to go see that? Well, hell yeah, I want to go see that. Let's go see, funny book movie. That's all of them together, yeah. Hell, no, not anymore. I don't want to see any of them. They need to stay in the funny books. Bless their hearts. Once they go in the movie, they'll ruin it for you forever.
Some of it looked like you put a Instagram filter on Lord of the Rings, and some of it looked like an A-Team episode.
It wasn't a movie. It's like a damn video game. It's what it looked like to me. Somebody playing ColecoVision on television. I didn't want to watch a child sit around and do that. Why don't I want pay money to go see it in a movie theater? You paid to me. I wouldn't go in. He paid senior $6.50, so it wasn't much. But hell, I'd rather spent that on McDonald's or something, because that wasted my damn time seeing that junk.
The fake play in Thor Ragnarok was better than the actual movie of the Justice League.
Anything's better than that. Anything.
Remember when Flash and Cyborg? I don't want to give any spoilers. I can't do spoilers. God damn it. All right, we'll talk about this later.
They do a whole thing. We would talk over Batman and Superman. I don't even want to talk over this one.
Well, if we do 300 episodes, maybe we'll be done with this before it comes out on video, which should be next week, so probably not.
Oh, hell.
So go see Justice League, folks. I think you'll have a great time.
Don't go see it. It's Aquaman ain't right. None of them look right.
Well, let me tell you, Jackie, though, I think you're thinking of Aquaman like from a cartoon from like the 60s where he's just standing on porpoise. You're thinking like Super Friends Aquaman and like the Flash.
Yep.
And like what would the difference be between blonde Aquaman and blonde the Flash just standing around? Aquaman got a fish under his arm and the Flash. And
Aquaman wouldn't look like a monster or wrestler. He'd look like Aquaman. That's one thing. And I tell you what, I want Batman to just be, tough guy, goes out and gets bad guys. Not some smug SOB like wandering around in a vest. I don't want, I ain't saying none of these anymore. Get a new Batman. I don't like him anymore.
I have to say, Batman dresses up in a costume every night, but it really seemed ridiculous that he would wear a vest.
Yep.
And they both, I'm guessing Bruce Wayne, since he's busy being Batman, just sends Alfred out to buy all his clothes. But somebody's spending a lot of time like at J. Crew or something. I don't know what J. Crew is. Is that for women? I don't know.
Hell
They
if I
have
know,
men
yeah.
stuff. What's the one I'm trying to think of? What was on Seinfeld?
I
The
don't
one
know.
where everybody wears tweed and hunts foxes. What brand beer you been cracking on here? Whatever I can sneak out of Jackie's cooler. Thank you, Gerg. Phil Hurd says, Jackie, will you ever shoot another? Jackie,
What? What?
will you ever shoot another episode of Cooking with Jackie time?
Well, maybe that's what we'll do when we get to 300 of these. Then I can just go do that. I'd rather just cook and not talk about what's going on in Washington or the world. That'd be nice just to eat. That'd be good. Bill Hall, bless his heart, he was the smartest man ever. God rest his soul. Weather and food. That's it. Nothing else. A little hunting, fishing, sure. But weather and food. That's what real life is all about. Well, you got to put on a raincoat, put on extra, sweater, whatever it is.
So you're saying
What you gonna eat?
a new podcast for you, a good one would be called Weather and Food. That's actually that's another good idea. This episode's full of them.
Yeah.
Dunlap, do you still have to sleep on top of your granny's dryer? I don't have to, but I've just made a nice little nest for myself up there. Kevin Compton writes in to say, Mel Tillis died, y'all. Makes me real sad. It is sad.
It is, yeah.
So he had that song, what is it, Send Me Down to Tulsa? Where he's like, there's a woman there that I like to have sex with.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so when the company sends me to Tulsa, I always am like, yeah. I guess you can expense fucking in Mel Tillis's.
All right. Watch your mouth. He didn't say that. He didn't talk that way.
No, he would have said,
No, don't.
he would have stuttered it.
I don't want him. Either way.
He would have stuttered it. Then Kevin Compton says, Manson died, y'all. Not sure I give a shit.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would. Hey, he would, like, a long time ago, he was on the news all the time because he, killed all of them. Crazy people, kill people, went into people's houses, kill people.
Yep.
Then they went to jail, and then people youngins started wearing him on a T-shirt, and now they don't even do that anymore, thank goodness. No, yeah, I don't give a damn. I ain't going to miss him.
Do you think all hippies are Charles Manson, though? When you see somebody whose hair's longer than, like, say, early Beatles, are you
If
like...
they got them crazy eyes, long hair, there for a while there, because you see, before that, people, even me, like you hippies, you like, oh, they're stupid, but they're harmless, You
funny.
Hop in the back of the truck, and I swerve a little bit, make them a little nervous. Just, you give them a ride, they hitchhike everywhere.
That's mainly what they did, right?
Well, pretty much, it's, can you get me over such and such? Oh, hell, I don't care. Don't do no drugs in the back of the truck, but hop on in there. They were dumb and silly, but they weren't dangerous. And then after Charles Manson did that, then every single one of them that could cut your throat, you didn't know anymore.
I'd been mad if I was a hippie, because I'd been like, well, how the hell am I going to get anywhere?
He ruined the hippies, getting around. They were hoofing it from there on. Yeah,
Thanks, Charles Manson. If I was a hippie, I'd been rubbing my feet. I won't wear shoes, so you just pull your foot up.
Sandals. He ruined a lot of sandals. I say, yeah, whatever they wore.
Every night I'd be rubbing my barking dogs, going, oh, God damn you,
Hey.
Charles Manson. This hippie's foot hurts. Like a bunch of fucking hobbits walking around. That's all they did. They walk. It might as well be. What's the difference between a hippie and a hobbit? Height?
Drugs, same drugs, right?
Smoke a pipe? No wonder hippies love that shit.
What's up?
smoke a pipe, steal an egg, see a dragon. That's what hippies do. Walk.
A lot of walking. That's all do Charles Manson. The rest of them
Who
crazy.
got the longest beard? He's the leader. Hippies are like wizards to me. They're like the wizards, but the hobbits are like the 40-year-olds. Like they're 40 in 1966 and they're just trying to get in on the action and get laid. So they're growing their hair out a little bit and they wear like a medallion. That's what hobbits remind me of.
Well, they're a little short, right?
Little short.
Yeah. I know. I didn't know what y'all. Yeah. I ain't gonna watch that.
Matthew E. Smith says, "Are Jackie Broyles look-alike still murdering?" I'd like to say, appreciate we're not getting a lot of political questions. Is that something you'd like to see? Should we just drop the politics, stop talking about fucking Trump?
All right, watch your mouth. There's a lot of Trump supporters that love to hear that. They please, yes, sir. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about him anymore.
But we have to. We don't want to. Listen, folks, let me tell you, we do not want to,
Nope.
but we have to. We're trying not to. And look, we don't want to be mad at you if you like Trump. We want you to come on over. Be mad at Trump with us. I think that's something that this whole country should be doing. We can all be mad at Trump.
Absolutely. If he hadn't given you anything to be mad about yet, then you probably, racist. That's pretty much it, right?
But you don't have. But you listen. Why don't you just come on over and hate Trump and anything else that is weird? We'll work on later. Just come on over and hate Trump with us.
Surely he'd given you a reason to hate him.
We're just extending a invitation. Look, Jackie, we don't need to. Let's not be accountants. Let's not look at the ledger. Let's not be Jesus sitting looking over St. Peter's shoulder saying, well, what about this right here, St. Peter? Maybe he shouldn't come in. I don't know why Jesus is being like that. Maybe he had a bad day. We don't need to be like mean Jesus, Jackie. Let's just say if they won't come over and start hating Trump, come on over.
I think there's a lot of Trump supporters out there just like Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan hate his guts but won't say nothing about it.
Please.
I think there's some of them out there. I believe there is.
I'm going to believe we can all be friends and hate Trump. I'm going to believe that. Are Jackie Broyles look-alike still murdering and sexually assaulting goats, or is that just a dark rumor? I mean, it's not like he's flipping baloney for an alibi.
I know what you're referring to, and that was a big, what do you call it, scandal? Not scandal, it was
The
a
saga,
crime
I'd
speed.
call that the crud saga.
Well, fortunately, that all died down once we got a magic evil bird as mayor. And say what you want about him, there's a lot of terrible things about that, I don't want to say them out loud, but as far as the crime and whatnot, that seemed to, level off or whatever. So whatever happened with that, and I'm thankful. Good Lord knows I'm thankful. I can just wear my regular clothes. I don't have to worry about it no more. There's a lot of things I don't like about our mayor, but
Folks, I think that was happening about a year ago, if you want to go back and look up ones where it was like Crud's Barbershop and handshakes and let me tell you something.
haircut and handshake.
A lot goes on around here, and it's hard to keep up.
See, that's another thing. Get done with 300, start over again. Then you can remember stuff from, like, if you just, you got to go back a year, let alone 5. I can't remember all this
If
stuff.
Guy Lancaster ain't written it down, we don't know it.
I think I went to looking for some of that on there. So if somebody asks us about such, let's go on there. And some of the newest stuff, bless your heart, Guy, I ain't saying get caught up. I ain't saying that at all. You done more than enough. Your time is done. Somebody, take over for Guy, but he may not want you doing that either. I don't know.
He's writing books about the history of racism in Arkansas. So let me say, he has no time.
Good. He needs to do what he needs to do, yeah.
We're just happy anybody's listening to us. K.O. Hurston. No, wait, I missed one. Sorry, K.O. Hold on. Nicholas Newman says, what's the best flavor of Hostess fruit pie?
I like chocolate one myself. That's my favorite.
Well, here's what I'm trying to figure out. Does Hostess actually make a chocolate pie? Hostess.
Oh, Hostess.
I don't know if it does. I'm looking.
That's one that's got all the fruities in it, right?
Yeah, I think that's the one like the Hulk would eat or the Penguin.
Who?
If you look in ads for comic books. But they might. I don't know. I think they just make fruit pies.
It's just fruit, isn't it? I got it mixed
He
up.
says Hostess fruit pie. When you go in a store and you buy fruit, and you're like, I'm going to get me this Hostess chocolate pie. But what is that chocolate pie? Ain't Hostess.
It ain't something else.
Uh-uh.
Well, that's what I like. No offense to Hostess or your question. I just assume eat a little chocolate pie. Whoever makes that's good.
That's real good.
If I have to eat the other, I don't know, pineapple, something like that. I don't know.
Apple.
Look,
I want about 10 of them.
Hey.
We'll make a dessert lasagna out of Hostess fruit pies.
Let's get done with this and you can go do it.
Is it true that Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays because that's the day they kill the chickens?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
K.O. Hurston writes in. It's true.
Yep.
K.O. Now, listen. If you take anything away from this podcast, I want it to be that. 5 years boiled down like a simple syrup into Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays because... Why, Jackie?
That's the day they kill chickens.
Lloyd Elmore Jr. says, what do you guys think of as the best high school in Rutherford County?
Well, you got Oakland, you got Riverdale, right? One of the two.
Well, now there's 6 more.
From my day, I don't keep up with the youngins where they go now.
They opened one high school, then they built a Walmart right over it. Now, I don't know if the high school is still in the center of that Walmart.
They were teaching class in the middle. I remember that. I did see that. I didn't know the name of the school, but I remember I had to go in there. I happened to be on that side of the Walmart town and went in. And sure enough, they were inside the Walmart teaching at least one class or two, I guess, until they figure out where to relocate or how it works. But, yeah.
They had the shop class back where they sold the tires.
Yep.
They had the math class where they sell the sewing supplies. Where you get a bolt of fabric.
Yep. Well, I'm going to say Riverdale simply for the fact it makes you think of old Archie. And that where Archie went to school.
Oh, Archie. You seen that sexy new Dangerous Archie on the CW? Everybody's involved in some sort of sex scandal and murder.
No.
And Jughead is the people's
and people
favorite.
ask why things are so awful these days. If you read a funny book and is murdering somebody, Jughead used to just, need a ride to the dance or something. And now they're murdering people in sex stuff, and you wonder why everybody's groping one another.
Yep. Archie Comics' fault.
Well, part of it.
Jughead did used to hate women. Now I think he's asexual. What we could call it, like 1-900-KILL Dunlap, like KILDUNL. That's too many letters. What? Jacek Stramsky?
Jacek?
I don't know. I may be mispronouncing that. What would Fred Thompson do? That's his question.
Oh, Lord,
Their
I wish. God, if he was alive today. And
what would he do?
What do you mean, what he'd do?
That's the...
He'd get in the truck.
Uh-huh.
The red truck, drive up to Washington.
Yeah.
And he'd go on there and whoop
Who?
President Dumbass's butt all the way out of the White House. What did he do? He said, I had just about enough of this.
So you're saying if Fred Thompson was alive, he'd get in his red truck that he drove across Middle Tennessee televisions for all during that election.
Well, went to see his mama. She was washing dishes for him. Went to see all the people, shook their hands.
Do you think there's bloopers for that? There is a clip of the week. Fred Thompson's mama washing dishes in that campaign ad. I think we looked for that before and we couldn't find it. But do you think there's bloopers where his mom is like dropping dishes and he's like, God damn it.
Hey, no, he didn't. I'm sure he talked like that sometimes, but he wouldn't say it around his mama.
I'm sorry. That's what she'd say. That's all right, Mama. But underneath she's like, God damn it. I don't know how many times I got to be in here and her drop a fucking.
Hey.
That's my imaginary Fred Thompson. I don't know what he was really like. I'm sure a great man. Tall and big as an oak.
Yes, sir.
With a handshake with a great handshake.
Yes.
What would Fred Thompson do? You're saying he would get in that truck and he would drive it up to Washington, D.C., breaking all kind of speed limits. Like, this country can't hold on no longer. People pulling him over. And like somebody coming up to the side of his car dressed like he is in that movie. What's that ghost movie with that man that looks like if River Phoenix had lived, but worse?
What is it?
And they got the movies upstairs in the attic and there's people hanging from the tree. He's a writer. And Fred Thompson's a cop, tries to stop.
Oh, I know. That's Sinister.
Yeah.
Sinister. I watched that just because of Fred Thompson. Somebody
That
put
was a mistake.
police officer outfit on him, but 2 sizes too small.
Somebody played a prank and it made it into the film.
Yeah.
Or maybe the film was a prank and it made it into theaters.
Well, and I think that's why, he said he ain't in it but 2 times. He's in at the beginning, and I think he comes in later on. And it's probably because I ain't coming back till you get, something that fits me.
Do you think they tried to get a bigger name for that role?
Who they going to get bigger than Fred Thompson? You tell me. They lucky you got him.
That's true. So Fred Thompson gets pulled over by somebody looking like he does in Sinister, and he says, Officer, I got to tell you, I'm on my way to the White House to beat the shit out of President Donald Trump. And that policeman, who may have voted for Donald Trump, sees who he's talking to. He says, like a bolt of lightning struck his brain, and he snaps out of it. And he says, yeah, you know what? Let me give you an escort.
Yeah. Turn the lights on. Let's go.
And they storm. And now Fred Thompson can get into the White House. This is all fiction, by the way. Well, I'm not recommending anybody else do this. We're saying Fred Thompson could have done it, and he's dead. So
nobody else could do it but him.
Nobody else should do it.
Nope.
But Fred Thompson.
Yeah.
But this is an imaginary tale of Fred Thompson going to Washington, showing up at the White House, saying, I'm former Senator Fred Thompson. Let me in this door. And this guard saying, oh, sure, here you go. And him walking up, he said, to the Secret Service, standing outside the Oval Office, said, son, let me tell you what I'm about to do. My name is former Tennessee Senator Fred Thompson, and I'm about to walk my 6'8" frame through this Oval Office door and use these big ham hands of mine to beat the shit out of President Donald J. Trump. And you're going to sit there and watch me do it and applaud as I kick his ass out the door.
And then the Secret Service just open the door right this way, sir.
And that's, in our heads, how we got a Fred Thompson coup. Not a military coup.
And imaginary.
Imaginary. We're not advocating violence. We say don't. If somebody says, I got a shot of getting close to Donald Trump, and no, don't hit the president of the United States. Don't hit anybody. Nazis. I guess not. People get mad at you if you say don't hit Nazis. You should definitely hit Nazis.
Every now and then, that's
some
a
people
Nazi
would say
good to get knocked upside the head. Yeah.
And some people would say President Donald Trump is a neighbor, but we're not saying to hit the president.
Oh, sure.
We're not even saying to go after specific Nazis, but in general, punching Nazis, just theoretically, should you punch Nazis? Yes. Should you punch whatever, Richard Spencer? I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say not to. But I'm definitely saying don't go after the president. Don't. It wouldn't even be enjoyable.
No.
If that really happened, we'd be mad.
To be upset about it. The only way I can enjoy this is in my mind, and it's Fred Thompson riding up in his trick.
Specific dead man.
That's it. He can't do it. It's not possible for him to come back to life and do it, so I can think it.
If it really
till the
happened,
cows come home.
it'd be terrible, too. It wouldn't happen like that. It'd be awkward. Fights are terrible anyway. First, Fred Thompson's old, too. I mean, let's really think about it. It wouldn't even be good. What if Donald Trump got a lick in? Or Fred Thompson got shot by the Secret Service? I mean, nobody wants that.
No, sir.
Jesus Christ, people. The times have driven us mad. So that's what Fred Thompson would do. Did you hear Jacek Stramsky? Sorry, I don't know how to say your name, son. Ma'am. Did you hear we just tried calling another planet?
Huh?
Did you hear? I did not hear that. Is that a real thing? Who did we try to call?
Who, you asking me?
I'm asking him.
He can't hear you.
I'm just figuring out how podcasts work. We don't keep up with a lot of science news.
No. Did anybody answer? That's all that matters.
That is the question. Or did you? That's
You
a little
try to
Carson.
call.
There's a little Carson right here now. Did you hear? We just tried calling another planet. Tommy Newsom. Like what? Anybody answers? That's the question. And then you do a face like, whew, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Thomas Nummy says, why don't you have a Patreon? Oh, hey, this is a good question. Why don't you have a Patreon account to collect donations from the fans?
Well, if we come back after 300, we may do that.
But should we just start it now?
Huh? You don't start one when you're about to stop doing something. You will say, give us money for all that we used to do? No.
We still got half 6 months.
I ain't going to do it. It's going to speed it up. We'll do 2-3 a week or something like that.
Dang. Has Dunlap ever done a podcast episode sober?
No.
No, I did like 2.
No.
Regretted them.
Maybe 2. Maybe.
It was not fun. Thomas, have you ever listened to one sober? So we're gonna get this Patreon up and running for Thomas. Thanks, Thomas. I wish if I'd thought to pay people to ask questions, I would have paid you $5 to ask us about but that's you getting a Patreon. Sterling William Chandler says, why won't Jackie talk about his son?
I ain't gonna talk about it now either.
Jackie Jr.?
Who?
Thanksgiving's coming up, Jackie.
No. Not around here. I mean, it's Thanksgiving, but it ain't. I don't have no.
What if you sit on Wonder Woman's lasso of truth?
What? Hey, shit. That ain't gonna.
I just made it worse.
That's private, personal, family business. As far as I'm concerned, I ain't got no son. As far as he's concerned, he ain't got no daddy unless he needed some money. So, end of that as far as I'm concerned.
Does Jackie know Dunlap's getting paid by YouTube? That's not true.
Who?
That's a falsehood.
Who's?
Sterling William Chandler says, why can't I remember? Especially now it actually is. But it also never happened.
Yeah.
Why can't I remember any of the questions I've had since the last you asked them? Sterling William Chandler also says, why can't we remember what we said on this podcast last week? I'd say we're both getting high as hell. K.O. Hurston's back, says, has Dunlap slept with more women than Justice William O'Neill?
Oh, hell.
That's the Ohio governor candidate who put out a piece of paper talking about his sexcapades so that women wouldn't get mad at him.
They do now. Look, all of I did my business with lots of women, all of them of age. Now you could put out a list. That's what it's going to take from here on out. Somebody just put me down. I had enough. This is what politics is from here on out.
I'm trying to be I'm still trying to figure out how to move forward in this new age without do anything stupid or hurtful or embarrassing or gross or offensive.
These are all your attributes. I don't. It's like
really
there's not really anything else you're left with.
Remember when we was like people from Hollywood say, "Hey, what do you boys want to do?" And well, send us up, write up how you would describe yourselves, like a character description. They'd say pretty much everything I just said was what I'd say about myself. Get me in a room with some women and watch me tear them down. Reduce all their achievements to me trying to hump them.
Hey.
But I'd say yes, I have slept with more women. But I'd
All
also
right.
say that it was always consensual. And I'd say that we both left the next morning with a self-esteem boost. And sore thighs.
You know what you just said, all of what you just said, there's no way, right up to Hollywood, here's what I want to do. Nobody's going to let you do that in Hollywood. Nobody won't have anything to do with that. But you'd have a good chance of getting in the Senate.
Yep.
Local. It's flip-flop. Everything's
still be
different.
president.
Used to be Hollywood. Everybody did all the sex stuff. Everybody was crazy, wild out here. And then Republicans, what you did, like we need family values. We need to keep things straight. You had Ronald Reagan. That's what it's supposed to be. And now it's the other way around.
Now it doesn't matter. As long as you're making liberals mad, it doesn't really matter whether or not you dated 14-year-olds.
Well, what if you're dating 14-year-olds just to make liberals mad? That's what I wonder.
I guess that's a ticket. Somebody's probably somebody's like, oh, hell, now I got a few. Somebody in Alabama right now is going like, not only am I no longer in trouble, I also have a future in politics. So, KO, I don't know how to answer your question anymore. Except for yes.
Hey.
I mean, I guess I'd say read my autobiography. I need to get that out pretty quick because nobody's going to want to read it pretty soon. So are you saying we need to get into politics and leave what? And leave show business?
No, I don't want to be involved in either one. That's so far I've been lucky.
All you can do is apologize, listen, and move on. Except we have a podcast.
Tell Marsha sooner.
Al Moore says Jerry Clower or brother Dave Gardner. It's hard to beat Jerry Clower.
Jerry Clower, I mean, nothing against, but Jerry Clower, come on now.
I mean, you could kind of stack Jerry Clower up against most people.
How?
How racist and sexist is Jerry Clower?
Don't ruin this for me either.
Are allegations going to start coming out about against Jerry
He's
Clower?
gone in the ground. Why bring it up?
If
Just
they did, would it even make the news? Like, where would that show up? Like on RFD TV? They'd stop the farm report? Hey, Jackie Broll, says Al Moore. Thanks for Al Moore, because we didn't get as many. I should have. We should have put this up yesterday.
Yeah.
Say, give us some questions for the 5th anniversary. You ask him. Al Moore says, "Hey, Jackie Broll, Thanksgiving's coming up. Ham or turkey?"
Well, I like turkey. Turkey's good too. I like ham. I like both of them. Both of them got their attributes, But when it gets to rebound, pretty much had a little bit of both be okay with me. That's how I like it.
Combo plate.
Well, when people bring over the plates, women down the street, they'll bring on a little ham, they'll bring a little turkey. So I'm lucky and fortunate that I'll probably get a little both. But if I had to choose between the two, I don't know. Maybe ham, maybe. I don't know.
What about turkey, though?
Well, turkey's good. Turkey's good, yeah, but
What about ham?
Well, I like ham. That's the one I like right there, yeah.
Do you put gravy on ham?
You can put gravy on anything.
I know
What do
you
mean,
can.
What are you talking about? A ham come glazed with something. You're supposed to glaze, get that stuff on the outside of it.
Let me tell you something. Thanksgiving equals turkeys.
Well, I know
You dumb son of a bitch.
Oh, shut your mouth. I know it's supposed to, but I like ham. Look, I'm telling you, get you a big old ham, get you a good one. Down at Kroger, get it home, get you a bunch of holes in that ham. Just get the knife, slice into it. Just get you a big 2-liter Coca-Cola. And pour all that Coca-Cola on that ham, and you cook that up like that. Get that Coca-Cola bubbling in the bottom of the whatever you got it cooking in. That's a good ham right there. You're gonna like it.
Can you imagine Donald Trump eating that?
You just ruined it for me.
He likes junk and terrible food, which is one of the few things I admire about him. But he would walk into your house and go like, "What kind of shithole is this?" And he'd look at that and like, "What's that trash?" You'd be like, "Get the hell out of my house,
well,
Mr.
yeah.
President."
I'd say that before he had get one word out.
That sounded pretty good, though.
It is good.
Except Thanksgiving, turkey, number 1. Ham, way low. Christmas, turkey, number 1. Ham,
Well, I like ham.
close second.
I like
Christmas
turkey.
ham. Nobody says Thanksgiving ham. Do they?
Everything's changing. Why not? Why not?
Well, I feel guilty about a lot of sex jokes we may have made over the years, but I don't feel bad about not liking ham. So that's one difference. Drew Perkins says, so Murfreesboro had all kinds of rails and barriers and cops in preparation. I don't know where this is going to go. Drew Perkins says, so Murfreesboro had all kinds of rails and barriers and cops in preparations for the big Nazi Mardi Gras crew parade, and they didn't even show. So now with all those white pride tourist dollars lost, what's their next civic function going to be? Try to spur the borough economy. And he has a second question. And he ends it with my best to Mrs. Broyles.
Oh, thank you. I'll be sure and tell her that. That's very kind. Murfreesboro, you shouldn't ask me what to do about the economy here, because when I was mayor, I tried a few things, and they all fell on the face. So I'm the last person you should ask. I'm when you try your best, and it don't work, you hang your head low, you humble, and say, well, I ain't too good at that.
Also, wet bread's wettest entree is actually wetter than water. Horse gravy is made of two liquids which never mix. I contend if it was poured over the wet bread, the whole plate would either explode, float, or disappear.
I don't know what will happen, but after you saying that, my mouth just got to water. Can you imagine both of those?
Fuck.
That bread is so wet, and that gravy,
Can you-
all down.
Dang. Are you still mad at horse gravy?
Well, I can be mad at it and still say it tastes good, can I?
Oh, yeah.
Well.
Like, you never had makeup sex?
What?
I feel terrible. So T.T. Slot was the inspiration for the Gypsy Acid Queen from Tommy, right? My best to Mrs. Broyles. I like his Drew Perkins. His head's on straight.
Wow.
That's all our questions, Jackie.
Well, it doesn't talk for an hour and a half. That's enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anything else we need to say?
Let's see. We talked about Mel Tillis.
God rest his soul.
We talked about Charles Manson.
Well,
We talked about Charlie Rose.
yeah.
I mean, sort of. We barely talked about the stupid president.
Good. That's good. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Hold up.
What?
I think we have a late entry from
All
Guy
right.
Lancaster.
All right. Well, okay. All right, guy.
Guy Lancaster, folks, this is it. We're going to wrap it up after this. Guy Lancaster says, oh, man, I missed it. But no, Guy, you're never too late for us. I just wanted to know what Murfreesboro figures have gotten caught up in the Me Too scandals. And have you been in touch with Baba Steve since the election?
Have not heard from Baba Steve. Don't know what he's up to. I'd love to get in touch with him. If anybody knows, he was on the book face or on a computer for a while, but that's the last I don't know how any of that works. So
We need to look him up for a while. Remember, folks, would you like to hear more guests? That's a question we could ask. Patreon. What would you like if we did a Patreon? Is that
if you're
stupid,
gonna pay
even if
for
we're
it?
going to end it?
If you're gonna pay for it, tell
Should
us what
we
the
end
hell
it?
you want. I'm gonna end it. Listen, I'm gonna say it again. We're gonna end this one. It's gonna be done. 300 out. That's it. Take a break, something like that. Whatever. Go on vacation. Whatever you need to do. Get your head on straight. Figure out out how the hell to do what we're supposed to be doing, and then it's Jackie time. That's me.
And the Me Too scandals, mainly just my own perception of myself, my place in the universe, what I'm here for, what I was created to do. It's not about me.
Well, they say there's some
But
rumors.
I am pretty gross.
Well, yes. There's supposed to be a few rumors coming down the pike, and I ain't speaking till it hits the news, then so be it. But Mr. Drib,
Yeah.
heard his name in a few circles, but I don't know.
Well, it's just rumors. If true, that would be a bombshell. But if true,
Well, we'll see.
allegations.
Well, we don't even know what it
Allegedly.
is. Don't even know what it is.
We
So
don't
I
even
shouldn't
know
have
what
said
it is.
anything, but I just, when you
But
work.
I believe her, whoever it is.
Well, if
And
it's
whatever they
her,
said.
yeah, sure. If it's
Especially
a woman,
if it's him.
if
There's
it's a
something
woman.
creepy about him. Mr. Drib was one of the creepiest ones of those bird people.
well, they're all a little weird as far as I'm
Well,
concerned.
they're bird people.
Well, yeah.
Folks, thanks for listening to us for 5 years. Why did I say 5.5 years?
It feels like it, yeah.
It feels like we spent 6 months in here. Thanks for giving us questions. Thanks for helping us do this. Rates and reviews. Maybe you haven't rated. Maybe you haven't reviewed in a while. Maybe get on there and rate and review us.
iTunes, YouTubes,
We need all the help we can get.
iTunes, Twitters, Facebook, YouTubes, churches, and hell, I can't even been so long. iTunes. Did I say that twice?
That's good.
All
So
right.
get on iTunes, do that. We're still putting these up on YouTube. Is there anything you want from us? Don't say be nice to Trump. But other than that, we're open. So let us know where you'd like to see this end up at 300. I'm going to close this up, this book, these notes, this computer. Now I guess we can go, Jackie. What do you want to do now?
Huh?
What do you want to do now?
Well,
We're done with the 5th anniversary show.
somebody said something about a place called Panera's Breads. What is it?
Panera Breads?
I don't know what is that. Somebody said it was good.
It's just a restaurant.
If they got one here,
Yeah. They got them everywhere.
I've heard the name, but I ain't. Let's go get some of that.
If you ain't been paying attention, and people say, oh, if somebody was in a coma for 10 years and they woke up and Donald Trump was president and all this shit, what people would do that've been in a coma for 10 years be like, where the fuck do all these Paneras come from?
Hey.
What in the hell?
Just because I've been in a coma don't mean I need to talk like that.